Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into another major escalation in the Middle East that has captured global attention. Reports confirm that Israeli fighter jets have launched airstrikes targeting a Hezbollah base, and what unfolded afterward has shocked analysts, governments, and observers worldwide. The situation is developing quickly, and it sheds light on the fragile balance of power in the region. This is not just another clash, it is a sign of how dangerous the confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah has become. Israel has long viewed Hezbollah as one of its greatest threats. The group, backed heavily by Iran, operates in Lebanon, but has influence that stretches far beyond its borders. Over the years, Hezbollah has built up a massive arsenal of rockets and missiles, many of which are capable of striking deep inside Israel. This constant buildup of weapons has made Israeli intelligence and military leaders very cautious, and they frequently monitor Hezbollah movements. According to officials, the base that was targeted was believed to be a critical facility where weapons transfers and operations were coordinated. The strike itself was carried out with precision, and Israeli defense sources claim it was based on actionable intelligence. They argue that Hezbollah was preparing new attacks, possibly using advanced drones or precision-guided missiles. This threat, in Israel's view, made the strike not just an option, but a necessity. The jets crossed into Lebanese airspace, released their payloads, and destroyed significant structures inside the base. Reports describe massive explosions that lit up the night sky and could be seen from miles away. For Israel, it was a tactical success, but the real story is what happened immediately after. Hezbollah quickly issued statements downplaying the damage and vowing revenge. In Lebanon, sympathizers flooded the streets, chanting slogans against Israel and promising retaliation. Regional observers noted that Hezbollah rarely lets such attacks go unanswered. Within hours, there were reports of rocket fire launched from southern Lebanon into northern Israel. Sirens sounded in multiple Israeli towns, forcing civilians into shelters. Although Israel's Iron Dome defense system intercepted several incoming projectiles, some managed to land in open areas, further heightening tensions. The question now is whether this marks the beginning of a much larger confrontation. For years, both Israel and Hezbollah have tried to avoid full-scale war, remembering the devastation of the 2006 conflict. That war lasted over a month, killed more than 1,000 people, and caused widespread destruction on both sides. Neither Israel nor Lebanon has fully recovered from that experience, and yet here we are, witnessing signs of a repeat scenario. Analysts argue that with every strike and every retaliation, the possibility of a wider war becomes more realistic. International reaction was swift. The United Nations called for restraint, urging both sides to avoid escalation. The United States, a close ally of Israel, defended its right to strike Hezbollah, but also warned that uncontrolled escalation could destabilize the entire region. Iran, on the other hand, condemned the airstrikes and promised continued support for Hezbollah. This alignment of powers highlights how conflicts in the Middle East often extend far beyond local borders. What starts as a clash between two actors can quickly involve regional and even global powers. Inside Israel, reactions were mixed. Supporters of the strike argued that Israel must act decisively against threats, especially when Hezbollah's arsenal poses a danger to millions of civilians. Critics, however, warned that such actions might provoke a war that Israel does not want right now. With ongoing tensions in Gaza, unrest in the West Bank, and regional instability, some feel that Israel risks stretching its military too thin. Yet, for Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Israeli Defense Forces, preventing Hezbollah from gaining the upper hand appears to be the priority. For Hezbollah, this strike also creates internal pressures. The group has built its reputation on being the resistance against Israel. To its supporters, Hezbollah cannot be seen as weak or passive. That means retaliation is almost guaranteed, though the scale of that response remains uncertain. Will Hezbollah launch a limited barrage of rockets, or will it attempt something larger, like a drone attack or cross-border raid? The answer could determine whether this remains a dangerous skirmish or erupts into a broader war. Civilian populations, as always, are caught in the middle. In northern Israel, families once again find themselves rushing to shelters. In southern Lebanon, communities fear Israeli counterstrikes that often follow Hezbollah's rocket launches. The cycle of fear and destruction never seems to end. Humanitarian organizations have already raised concerns about displacement and casualties should the fighting expand. This reminds everyone that beyond the politics and military strategies, it is ordinary people who suffer the most. One of the most worrying aspects is the timing. The region is already tense due to ongoing conflicts in Syria, unrest in Iraq, and uncertainty in Gaza. Adding another front between Israel and Hezbollah could stretch resources and destabilize Lebanon even further. Lebanon is already dealing with a severe economic collapse, political dysfunction, and widespread poverty. A war with Israel would be catastrophic for the country, and yet Hezbollah's military strategy does not always align with Lebanon's national interests. This has led to criticism from Lebanese citizens who feel trapped by Hezbollah's actions. From a strategic perspective, Israel may also be sending a message to Iran. By striking Hezbollah so decisively, Israel is warning Tehran that it will not tolerate the buildup of advanced weapons along its borders. Iran's growing influence in Lebanon, Syria, and beyond is seen as a major security challenge for Israel. Each strike on Hezbollah is also part of a larger shadow war between Israel and Iran that spans across the Middle East. Whether it's airstrikes in Syria, cyber operations, or covert missions, this struggle continues to escalate. Looking ahead, the world is watching to see what comes next. If Hezbollah limits its response, there is a chance this confrontation could de-escalate. However, if Hezbollah chooses a large-scale retaliation, Israel will almost certainly respond with overwhelming force. That could drag the region into another devastating war. The stakes are extremely high, and the next few days will likely determine whether the situation spirals out of control. This strike also raises bigger questions about the future of security in the Middle East. Can there ever be a lasting peace when groups like Hezbollah continue to amass weapons with foreign backing? Can Israel truly feel secure when threats exist just across its border? And can Lebanon ever achieve stability while one of its most powerful actors operates independently of the state? These are the questions that policymakers, military leaders, and ordinary citizens are all grappling with. For now, what we know is clear. Israeli fighter jets have struck a Hezbollah base, sparking immediate retaliation and international concern. The coming days will show whether this was just another violent exchange or the opening act of a much larger conflict. The world waits anxiously, and the people living closest to the border wait in fear, hoping that history will not repeat itself with another all-out war. And that brings us to the end of today's analysis. The situation is still unfolding, and we will continue to monitor developments closely. This event is not just a military confrontation. It is a reminder of how fragile peace in the Middle East truly is. The decisions made by leaders in the coming days will determine whether the region inches closer to stability or plunges into yet another devastating conflict.